This is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topic is China put its hand into Taiwan and U.S.-China war. China put its hand into Taiwan. First, China takes actions in one of the Taiwan's diplomatic allies, Paraguay. China even shipped 40,000 metric tons of medical supplies to Paraguay. Rumors said that there might be a change between the relationship of Paraguay and Taiwan. Yet the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Joseph Wu, denied today and said that the medical supplies from China actually is not free. Paraguay paid for it and it's not a gift from China. He emphasized that Taiwan and Paraguay's bond will remain the same. Also, is China a part of the red pen incident? Because we know that Hong Kong Causeway Bay Books founder Lin Rongji was attacked by two or three men who threw red pen on him while he was at a coffee shop in Taipei yesterday. And the newest update, 3 men were arrested, and Lin Rongji accused them to be affiliates to the authorities in China. Of course, the case needs to be investigated, but Jonathan Gao, who claimed to be a member of the Chinese Unification Promotion Party, what we call 统促党, he left a message on Mainland Affairs Council Facebook and warned Lin Rongji that this red pen is our last warning. We have powerful gain in Taipei. Well, I really can't believe that he really left a threatening message on the publicly on the official government's Facebook. And if he really has something to do with the Chinese Unification Promotion Party, then I would say that it will be a problem. Because in 2017, the press released that this party earned around 5 million renminbi each year from China. If that is true, and China is a part of it, we cannot tolerate them to attack people in Taiwan this way. As to the U.S.-China war, why do I use the term war? It seems like the U.S. no longer wants to pretend. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo held a press conference and strongly criticized that China withheld information of coronavirus. He also accused China of bullying neighboring countries. Pompeo accused that China not only destroyed autonomy in Hong Kong, but also exert the whole military pressure on Taiwan and the other countries in the South China Sea. Well, to sum up, China cannot face the virus with transparency. On the other hand, it puts its hand into Taiwan. China not only suppressed Taiwan, but also isolate Taiwan from joining the WHO. Who is the one that actually manipulate political throughout this pandemic? U.S. is outrageous. Taiwan is outraged too. Taiwan asked WHO to break free from China's pressure and that Taiwan join WHO as an observer. This is honesty. And this should really be the saving lives that Tedros was talking about. Here are the top stories. Today, we have one confirmed case, also from the Panshi Fast Combat Support Ship. WHO director, what did he say? Well, Tedros, during the press conference yesterday, claimed that he declared the coronavirus outbreak a global emergency early enough. He said that, looking back, I think we declared the emergency at the right time and when the rest of the world can have enough time to respond. Well, I mean, Dr. Tedros, you must be joking. The deadly virus has infected millions of people worldwide. You waited until March 12 to declare it is a pandemic. It is too late. Tedros then added, make no mistake, he thinks that we have a long way to go. Well, what he said is that this virus will be with us for a long time. The virus remains extremely dangerous despite social distancing measures. He also said that early evidence suggests most of the world's populations remain susceptible, and that means epidemics can easily reignite. So I would say that this is the whole thing that will happen again. Then one of the reporter reminded Tedros about the petition asking him to resign, and what did he think about the whole thing? Guess guess what? He replied, I will keep working day and night to save lives. Well, you talk about a day and night. It sounds really like a toothpaste commercial, right? And I really want to speak to Tedros. Remember, when Taiwan notified you about the virus last year, you should have started to save lives since that day, and which is December 31st, 2019. Well, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo came out strongly toward China. He held a press conference yesterday and said the world must be have access to Chinese labs to determine sources of coronavirus. He continued to insist this. It is an ongoing requirement for transparency and openness. He reminded the public, you have to remember these labs are still open inside of China, and these labs that contact complex pathogens that were being studied. And it's not just the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Well, we collaboratively, that's what he said, that very important, collaboratively, the world still has not had access to the Chinese lab, making it impossible to track the disease evolution. And this lab in China, there are multiple labs where the Chinese Communist Party is working on virus levels of pathogens. Also, he said, talking about something that he thinks this is very important for the whole world, and then there should be a global effort that those people working with dangerous substance have the capacity and also have the capability to prevent accidental disease. Now, let's take a look at these boxes. We'll talk about these boxes. This is China's generous donation. It's 2 boxes of test kits to Syria. Did you see how tattered are the boxes? You know, Syria analyst Danny, he said that China delivered medical supplies to Syria in the fight against COVID-19. And yes, those 2 boxes were the supplies. You know, talking about that, he said that, well, they make the mask diplomacy doesn't really properly apply to Syria. I think what he meant is that only 2 boxes. Are you serious? Are you saying hello? Well, as to Japan, made in China surgical mask claimed to have been manufactured and also in Taiwan, but actually it's not true. It surfaced in Japan because in Japan you can buy some of the masks, but actually it's not MIT at all. It is made in China. Someone posted this on Facebook and hope people will not be misled. Well, Taiwan can help. The United States Department decided to cooperate and coordinate with the like-minded partners, including Taiwan, on COVID-19 assistance to the Pacific. In a fact sheet, you can see that the department said it had provided over US $32 million as April 17 to combat the COVID-19 in the Pacific, which must have been founding directly to the Pacific island countries such as the federal states of Micronesia, Marshall Islands, and Palau. Moving on, I would like to say a ceremony was held at the Singapore Red Cross. 100,000 medical masks donated by Taiwan to Singapore has arrived. Also, do you remember Father Giuseppe the Donut? We once mentioned in the show how Taiwanese people donated around 150 million NT$ to Italy. Now, the medical supplies and relief aid donated to Camellia Disaster Service International Taiwan, ready to ship. Now, another round of masks also arrived in other countries. We can see that this is Austria. Austria thanks Taiwan for donating 300,000 surgical masks. And Slovenia thanks for Taiwan's 150,000 mask donations. Well, let's talk about the passport. Remember that legislator, they want to change the cover of the passport into like the bubble milk tea, right? And this is called for a kind of resign. And I'm talking about this. This is Ni Yi Gongfang. They have created this bubble milk tea design for a new Taiwanese passport. Isn't it really cute? And I want to say that it reminds me of the bubble milk tea fight in Singapore. The government wants to shut down the unessential shops, including bubble tea shops. So Singaporeans, they were so crazy about it. They were so nervous about it. They want to get a bubble tea before the shop was closed. So they have kind of fight. I know. bubble tea. It's very delicious, isn't it? So that would be today's The View. I'm Catherine Chang. I'll see you tomorrow.